Hi, I'm Dan. A few years back I discovered bikepacking, had some incredible trips of my own, and then decided to organise an event in Australia and share the amazing backcountry that we've got here. And that event is called the Hunt 1000. The Hunt 1000 is an epic journey through the Australian Alps, and I always sum it up as a beautiful challenge. So the hunt is 1,000 kilometres, starting in Canberra right through to Melbourne. We traverse basically the whole high country, right through New South Wales, Kosciuszko National Park, Jagungal Wilderness, and then off into the Vic High Country. You climb around 26,000 metres over the course of those 1,000. For anyone who doesn't know, that's a lot of climbing. It's about three Everests. So the ride's, I'd say, not just a physical, it's not just a physical event. It's a bit of a mental journey over the course of those 1,000 kilometres. So people set off from Canberra, quite enthusiastic and excited, and you can often see 3 days in, it's becoming quite a mental challenge. Even day 2, you might start questioning yourself whether you can make it all the way, and that's part of the fun and the challenge. And then generally, once you're a day away from Melbourne, it'll flip because you're on the home stretch. So it really is a mental journey, I think. It's definitely not easy, but you get rewarded for your efforts out there. So the hunt came about after riding an event in New Zealand, and after doing that I came home and I thought, why the hell don't we do something like this in Australia, because we've got such an amazing backyard. I just wanted to really, share that experience with others, because I knew how spoilt we were with the Australian Alps. So one thing I really enjoyed about the ride in New Zealand was a sense of community, I suppose, and enjoying this epic adventure with other riders. So that's really what I wanted to recreate. One thing I didn't want to do is turn it into a race, because you get a very different dynamic when it's not a race. People are helping each other out, you form better friendships, creates a better experience in my eyes. So after coming up with the idea for the ride initially, I sat down, mapped out a route all the way through to Melbourne and put it up on the web. And I literally just said, here's a route, I'm leaving Canberra on this day at this time. If you want to come, you're welcome to join me. But that's, everything else is up to you. And I literally thought it'd just be me and a couple of friends from Canberra.
How you doing? Hey! Oh, suffering through this terrible weather.
I know.
Shit, isn't it?
I'm back for the day. It's awful.
Well,
So all the riders carry these tracking devices which pings off to the interweb, and your location can be seen on a map online. So generally mum or your girlfriend or whoever it might be is watching along, and when you reach camp at night there's a button there to check in and say I'm okay. And the loved ones at home like to see that each night.
So Dan, how organised do you think the guy who planned this was? Do you reckon he knew what he was doing?
When I see that guy, I'm going to tell him something. I'm sure there's a few people on the trail cursing me. I'm sure.
This year we had a pretty serious blizzard blow in just as the first riders set off. Pretty unseasonal at that time of the year. Wind chills up to -10, there was a foot of snow right up in the high country. It really hit a few of the early riders hard. Later on, even when the weather settled down, the rivers were up because the snow was melting, and the rivers actually stopped people being able to go through. The Hunt 1000 is an unsupported ride, and there's some big stretches there between resupply. You might be carrying 2.5 days of food or more, depending on how fast you want to try and attack it. Although it's unsupported, what you do get is the route, a line on a map, where to turn up and when to turn up, but everything else is up to you. The original plan with great weather and all going fine was that everyone would arrive in Melbourne on the following Saturday. We'd all catch up at the park and have a beer in the sun, but due to the crazy weather it really split the pack, I suppose, and slowed people down, so people's arrival was a bit more dispersed than originally planned, and everyone finally had made it to Melbourne by Sunday night. We all got together at Commuter and had a beer and celebrated and shared some war stories. One of the really, I think, special things about the Hunt 1000 ride in particular is the fact that you traverse the high country in Kosciuszko and Victoria, and there's a network of historic huts through there. There's quite a history behind all of those huts. It's just a very special experience to stay in one of those.
For every moment that the bike's going, you feel lucky. Just also fraught.
One of the fantastic things about having the huts out there is they offer a refuge when the weather gets really bad, and this year they were absolutely lifesavers for a few riders who got stuck in the blizzard. Waking up after a wet night on the road, and then in the morning it's really tough to get going again. Just slipping on that wet gear, being cold, and going straight back into it. And that's something that can test you mentally, I think, not just physically. Yeah, the event is about creating a personal challenge for people. It's about not racing the person in front of you, but challenging yourself, I think. And most people will probably push themselves to a place they've never been. And that's one of the draw cards, I suppose, and one of the intents of the ride. As we said, it's pretty tough going out there, and oh my gosh, there's a lot of broken bikes, broken soles, and even broken bones. It's really tough, and that's actually another reason it doesn't need to be a race, because it's so damn hard. It's hard enough just to finish the ride. And I think it catches a lot of people out. A lot of people haven't experienced that sort of riding for days on end in the past.
How are you feeling right now?
Great. Bitumen.
Loving this tarmac. What day are we on?
Sorry?
What day?
8? 7?
8?
What day is today? Day of the month.
I don't know. I think it's Saturday?
Saturday.
Oh, look.
First day of summer.
Melbourne is on the map. Look at that.
Even though on the Hunt 1000 you have to climb 26,000 metres, what goes up must come down, and that means, you know, a lot of fun on a mountain bike. Do it all again. 2019, I try to learn from each year and try to make the next year better. Plenty of thoughts about what that might mean this year. So you speak to anyone who's done this ride or similar rides, they'll all tell you how you quickly forget about the tough times. People keep coming back, so it can't be all that bad.
3.5 hours to my bus.
That's amazing.
How's that pie, mate?
I kind of want to, though, mate.
I'm normally vegetarian. This ride, there are no rules.
I'm really feeling the spotlight. I didn't sign up for this. I just wanted pretty photos of the mountains.